All right, we're back. Sorry.
I'll wait
cut out for no reason. We had like 30 people watching. It's pretty good. That's as much as I had on Nick's interview too. So it's not bad. Yeah, I know. I always do this on video. I look like an insane fucking psychotic. Oh, hi Nick. How you doing? All right, we're back on. Sorry about the mishap. I had to delete Spotify to go live for you guys. So just
I'm not gonna be that person, but it's because you have an iPhone.
I know, but I love my iPhone. I'm not gonna lie. I just made the switch and I'm so happy about it. But all right, so listen. So what we were talking about, depression and mental health in recovery, and how it definitely takes a toll as far as like how the path you're going down. So how about you finish saying what you were saying, because you were saying something good.
Oh goodness.
You can come closer.
Let me gather my thoughts. Okay. So yeah, depression is a serious thing. Like, I've dealt with it my whole life, and like I was saying, the best thing is just to get it out and don't ever feel like you're alone, because there's so many people out there that are suffering with depression. It's called the silent disease. Like, it's because if you don't talk about it, nobody will know. It's something you have to express, otherwise it'll eat at you and it'll make you feel like shit. And you're a good person, I guarantee it. You just gotta talk to people about it. Like, get it out. I don't even care if you talk to a random stranger about it. Like, sometimes that's easier. Sometimes it's easier to talk to somebody you have no idea, no ties to, whatever. Just get it out. Just talk about it. Sorry. I'm awkward.
Yeah,
Own it.
same.
You gotta own the awkwardness. Found that out.
No, that's definitely something that it's really easy for us to like talk a good talk, and this is something that I found myself as well. It's really easy for me to like talk, but in the end, like when you go to bed and you lay your head down at night, how do you feel? You know if you're going through a bad period in your life, and if you're hitting one of those like brick walls that are in front of you, and you have to take care of it like ASAP. And I think the best thing that I did for me was hold yourself accountable in early recovery, and I mean basically as long as possible. So the best thing for me is like going to UPMC. I know it sounds like people are like, why do you still go to outpatient? Well, if you keep going to outpatient and you volunteer to keep going, I had a session every week. Regardless, it wasn't with a regular counselor, it was with an addiction counselor, but it was good because even at the very least, I'm getting a counseling session in. I'm getting drug tested. I'm talking to somebody I've known throughout every phase of my development in my recovery, regardless, and it's nice. Now, on the other side of that, I do recommend getting a normal counselor, just a regular counselor that you can talk to about anything, because I know a lot of you are associated with probation or drug court, and that might be associated with your outpatient, and say you go through a rough patch and you drink or you smoke or something along those lines, and you come clean about it. You don't want to see yourself facing a large penalty, and having a normal counselor I think is a good thing, because you can actually talk with that normal counselor and get yourself in a better set situation to prepare for whatever might happen. So then you have a team of people that have been watching over you and can basically make an educated decision of what's been going on in your life.
I'm 2 years sober, and I still go to outpatient every other week. My counselor is a dual diagnosis counselor, so I get the best of both worlds. She understands mental health and she understands addiction, and she is literally my best friend. I look forward to going to see her. I can call her. I have her personal number, like probably not supposed to, but I do, because I've been going to the same place for 5 years. She's seen me through my rough patches, trying to get sober, can't getting sober, and then my long streak when I did have the last amount of sobriety time, and then now, and she's seen it all. She's seen my changes, she's seen everything, and she knows me. I know her. I feel comfortable with her. So yeah, I still go see her. I'm not court mandated to go see her anymore. I'm not nothing. Like, I go see her for
because
me.
You want to see her?
Yes, for solely my sanity and my sobriety. Like, that's literally, she's helped me through so much.
And that's exactly what people need to understand, is just because you get off drug court or just because you get out of a situation where you have to go to counseling, I recommend recommend taking that extra 6 months or even longer to volunteer your time to keep going. Because, you know what, I know other people are going to say to you, why do you still go to outpatient? I swear to God, I had 50 people ask me, why do you still go to mental health counseling? Because I want to. Because I actually care. I'm sorry that I didn't just give a shit about being court mandated. So that's a big thing. People always like to put down people that are court mandated. Well, you know what? It actually does save lives, and it's all about how you go about it and how you approach your situation. If you approach a temporary situation through court mandation as something that's not important and you're just going to get through it and you're going to use as soon as you get off, and if you don't even open your mind to using it as a tool to recover, then oh my God, there's a pig that's knocking me over. Look at this pig. Oh my God, this pig is so cute. Ah! That's my tip.
Oh goodness.
There. Oh my God, sorry.
That's Wilbur.
This is a pig, and it's on my feet.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on, Wilbur.
Look at the piggy. Look at the piggy. Look at the piggy. Look at the pig. Hang on. Sorry. I know we're sidetracked.
There. Stay out of the shot.
I promise we're not this sidetracked all the time. Come here, little piggy. Big piggy. I promise I don't eat pigs, so I'm friendly.
That's a Wilbur.
I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. See, this is why I'm a vegetarian.
Come here, Wilbur.
All right.
Come on.
Here.
Come on.
All right, anyways, she's just putting the pig in the house, and then we're going to continue this conversation. But if you guys have any questions for Mikayla, she definitely is pretty experienced in all the different areas. I mean, I've seen her in jail to now, and the change is amazing. I mean, she's body positive, she's beautiful, she takes care of herself, she takes care of her kids. I mean, it's really an amazing thing to watch somebody go from here to there, and I'm just really, really proud to see it, you know. It's really nice to see people at one point, they're at one place in their lives, and now I get to see them recovering, and I get to get a video of them. And there's a lot of different aspects of recovery that are really hard to talk about. I know, basically going back to like body positivity, when I first got sober, like I gained a mass amount of weight. I probably gained like 65 pounds, at least 40 while I was in jail. And this is something that was really hard on me because I'm sitting in a jail cell and I'm like eating all this bread, and everybody's like, yeah, you eat that, girl, because you're going to gain a lot of weight. And I did not believe them at all. I was like, oh, I weigh 98 pounds. I'm not going to gain weight. So I just kept eating and eating all this food. Well, then I walk out of jail and I weigh like 160 pounds. I kid you not. Maybe like 155, something like that. And I was so embarrassed. And then I acted a fool when I went to rehab the first time because I wasn't secure with myself. So that's something that's really important. I mean, definitely your health and taking care of your body, because, you know, not everybody's secure with themselves. And a lot of times people relapse literally just so they can lose weight. And it sounds ridiculous, but 80% of the reason why I used personally was so I could be skinny. And I know it sounds nuts, but I weighed like 98 pounds when I got done getting high. And I mean, that was like, yeah, I looked like shit, but everybody thought I was, you know, I didn't think I looked like shit. I thought I was sexy as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And now
I went into jail, I was 95 pounds, and I literally, like 2 days prior, I was like taking pictures and putting on Facebook, and I was like, look at how hot I am, blah, blah, blah. I got into jail, and I can't remember who said it, but someone was like, you have a shape of a 12-year-old boy.
I know, somebody said that to me too.
And I was like, I do have the shape of a 12-year-old boy.
I love it.
I thought it looked good. Apparently it didn't. And by the time I got out of rehab, because I spent 14 months away, like in plush jail, everything. And sometimes I needed that. I really needed that, because if I would have went home after jail, I would have been in prison or dead. And like, that's the only two options. And I spent 14 months away, and when I got out of rehab, I was 170 pounds. Mind you, I have never, even in my pregnancy, reached over 150. So like, to come home 170 pounds, I was like, it was crazy. I learned to love my body though as I got sober, because so many more people were like, oh my God, you look so good, blah, blah, blah.
You look so much better.
Yes, you look healthy. I love when people are like, oh, you look healthy. That just means you put on weight. Like,
I hate the word healthy. Do not ever use the word healthy with someone in recovery. I'm telling you right now, they are going to think you're calling them fat. Because every time somebody said, oh, girl, you look so healthy now. Look at that butt. Okay, I did not like that. I felt like I had a huge ass and I was fat. So don't tell me that I look healthy if somebody's in recovery. That's a no-no. Don't say it.
Don't do
okay. Anyways, I'm just saying it's the lingo.
People think that it's helping, and it's not. Like,
No, you're making it more insecure.
you're like, oh, cool, I'm fat now.
Thanks. Let's pay attention. You secretly think I look terrible. That's all right. Anyways, we're joking. Kind of, not really. I know you mean well, though. I'm just telling you, if you say somebody that they look good, just be like, you look great. Tell them, be like, you look awesome, you look hot, you look so much better. If you want to compliment somebody in recovery, and I'm telling you right now, if they feel good about themselves, the chances of them staying clean are way higher. So just keep complimenting them. Tell them their skin looks better, their hair looks better. I don't even care if you gotta lie. Tell them they look better. But make sure that you build their confidence up, because somebody that loses their confidence loses their fight for their recovery. And it's really important to stay confident, because a lot of things life beats down on you. And if you're not used to living life like somebody who's been living life without drugs, then these little inconveniences add up and then you end up using. So it's really, really important to fight off every inconvenience so that you don't have to deal with everything at the end. But no, I definitely, like what I was saying, she said she was 170 pounds. Like when I got out, I was like 155, 160, and like I had not weighed that much in like so long. And you know, in jail they fill you up with soy food
and
like
carbs.
Yeah, it's all straight carbs and soy food because they want to keep you full off a smaller amount so they can save money. So literally, like, you're gonna starve to death in there. Like, you'll feel like you're starving, so you're eating all this food. And if you're coming off like any type of upper, people usually crave sugar and anything that releases dopamine or serotonin in the brain, because obviously you're lacking that now that you're not having that anymore. So you start stuffing your face, you're crying, you're probably masturbating, whatever. And then at the end of the day, it's
not in public places.
Not in
Please
public.
don't do
I'm
it
joking.
Anyways, don't do it in jail, rehabs, or anything like that. I mean, if you do, that's cool, but just think of the germs.
Yeah, that's
bacteria
gross.
infections, nasty.
But a lot of people that get clean, it's like they want that release of serotonin and dopamine. They want that release of good stuff, everything that makes them feel good. And then they go into rehab and they go through this like insecure phase where, you know, they're either A, sleeping with a bunch of people, or B, they won't talk to anybody because they don't feel okay with themselves. There's a lot of different issues that come into play when you get sober. And I think that if I had gotten out of jail, like if I had left jail and gone home, I would have probably died, to be honest. I had no intention of being sober like the first month or two that I was in jail. I remember sitting there and thinking of all these plans of how I was going to go home and stuff Suboxone somewhere, and I was going to do this, and I was going to figure out a way to get high before I went to rehab. I'm not going to lie, that's really how I felt for a while. And then as time went on and I dried out and I didn't think about drugs every day, then it kind of phased out. And I remember the girls in jail with me would constantly tell me how like I was going to die. I heard it a lot, like, you're gonna die, you don't want to get clean. And it actually pissed me off that people told me that. So I actually quit talking about it. And when I quit glorifying drug use and I quit glorifying my life, because I felt really guilty about the things I had done, so to cover them up, I tended to like glorify them and talk about what a gangster I was and blah blah blah, you know.
Right.
So by the time that I got off, you know, and I got out, and I went to rehab, I think I was gone for like a year. So by the time that I was done, I came home like 155, 165, something like that. And I was still not comfortable. But you have to get over that and kind of move forward. As you can see, like, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, and she's definitely not like 98 pounds. And I have to say, she would be terribly not as good looking if she weighed 98 pounds. I'm not trying to body shape somebody that's skinny, but there's a difference between somebody that's thin because they worked out to get that way, and
they're naturally that way.
Right.
But when doing drugs is a whole different story. It doesn't just take the weight, it takes everything. It takes all of your collagen, it takes everything. It dries out your skin to the point where you start wrinkling earlier, everything. And that's why when people are on drugs, they look 10
like
times older than what they really are, or, you know what I mean, or they look like skeletons. Like, to look back at my mugshot, I laugh so hard every time I see it. One, because my eyes are like this. Two, because I have nothing on my face, and nothing, like, it was the funniest thing, and I don't mean, like, funny, but, like, when I went into jail, the clothing that I was wearing was baggy. You know what I mean? It was terrible. Nothing fit
You
right.
left and it was too small.
Oh my God, I left and I was in a romper. First of all, let me tell you, romper, terrible thing to get arrested in.
I think I got arrested this. I'm not gonna lie. But
I had to get rid of it because it was too small. But like, I got out and my boobs were popping out, my butt was popping out, and I was like, oh, that's cool, like, awesome. And like, my stepmom was like, how does it feel to fit into normal people clothing? And I was like, normal people clothing. Like, I can't shop in the the kids' clothes section anymore.
It's horrible, actually.
But I mean, it's better. It's better that, you know.
You get used to it.
And I learned to love it. I really did. And when they tell you first year sobriety to try and stay single, I know it's hard because believe me, I hooked up with a few people, whatever. I didn't try to get into anything serious because first of all, I couldn't stand myself half the time. Like, my emotions were up and down so crazy, it wasn't even funny. And to add someone else into the mix of that is not only wrong for them, but wrong for you because a lot of us addicts tend to gravitate towards other addicts.
People that are also just as sick as you.
Yes. And when you do that, you're putting yourself and their sobriety, your sobriety and their sobriety at risk. Because all it takes is one of you to be like, hey, let's do this tonight.
Right.
Put a real cute face on, you know how to do that puppy dog face, whatever. And it's done. It's done and over with.
And how do you know that you have the willpower to say no? Because I know that I could tell 99% of the world no, but what about the person that I love more than anything? I mean, what about when my daughter's 25 years old and say I'm a 45-year-old recovering addict? Can I say no to my daughter? Like, you just got to keep yourself at boundary with people that are using, even your family. I mean, a lot of times we come home and say you stay out of a relationship. I'd say stay away from anybody using for the first year. Don't just limit it to relationships, because even if you have family members that are currently in a bad situation, and I know that we always get stuck kind of going back home into that situation, I'd say get yourself out by yourself as fast as possible. You don't want to go into the same environment that you got sick in. And this is really, really, really important. People don't realize it. I understand that you take you wherever you go, because you are going to take all your problems and your issues with you no matter where you go. But that time that like she had away and I had away was really important. And
you find like a new you
yeah.
while you go away. I remember first going into rehab and they asked me what I like to do. Do you know that I had no answer for that? Because I was like,
drugs?
I like nodding out on couches. Like that was my thing. And they were like, that's your answer? And I'm like, yes. Now, like, there's so much more, you know, like, I do things. I go to the beach. I do things like this. I take care of my daughter. I actually get to take my daughter places. My daughter can officially now stay the night at my house, which couldn't happen before, obviously, because God forbid I couldn't get high with her there. Like, it just wasn't happening.
Right.
But now there's so much. Getting sober opens up so much so quick.